It's the first day of school! Oh my gosh, I am freaking out. Hi everyone, I'm Tiffany and I'm a first year 5th grade teacher in Nebraska, and today is the first day of school. I got to school a little early. It's about 7:15 right now. The kids start coming at 7:50 and I think I'm supposed to be here at 7:30. So I just wanted to get here a little early. I've actually been here for a little bit. I wanted to print some stuff out and just get everything ready, and oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. I'm so excited. I just have so much adrenaline. I do want to show you my morning slide. This is going to be up whenever the kids first get here. I'm going to do this every single morning. Whenever they come in, they're just going to look at the board and it's going to tell them exactly what to do. So some of the things that they have on their desk this morning, I have these 2 about me surveys. This little flag is something that I want them to fill out, and then we are going to hang them up in the classroom. And then this all about me survey is just for me to have so that I can just get to know them a little better. And then I have this take a guess sheet. It just has some random questions where they can take a guess about me. And then at the bottom, I just tell them to kind of walk around the classroom and just look at everything that I have displayed, and then to just make some assumptions about me, and then also about what they think the rest of the school year is going to look like. I also have a word search, but it has all of our names on it, so I'm not going to show that to you, but it's just a word search and they just have to search for everyone's names, including mine. And then this is just something for them to do if they finish all of that. So it's a little I Spy back to school sheet, and they just have to find the number of things that's listed down here, and as they find them, they color them in here. I also have these little bookmarks, so if they finish early, finish all of that stuff, then they can come and get one of these bookmarks to color, and then if they want, I can laminate them as well. I need to change this date because we did not come to school yesterday. Yesterday was supposed to be our first day. Today is Wednesday. We were supposed to have our first day on Tuesday, but that didn't happen because of some construction issues, and so it just wasn't like safe for us to be here. So I got an extra day to sleep in, which was nice, but now I'm just pumped and ready to go. So I still have a few things that I want to do to get ready, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And I'm probably honestly not going to be able to check in until the end of the day because I'm not going to have any time alone really today. During my specials time, my other 5th grade teachers come in, and so I can't film during then, and then my only other time alone is lunch, and I'll definitely be eating, so not going to be able to come in then. But happy first day! It's the end of the day. I survived day 1, and not gonna lie, it was hard. I only have 15 kids, but I don't know. I love them. They're wonderful. There's just been there was like a lot of behavior issues today, which was kind of tough. At some points of the day, it felt overwhelming. Overall, like, this is definitely a very memorable first day. I tried to put emphasis on classroom family today, and some of the kids don't really, like, I feel like they're not really buying into it yet, but we're gonna get there. I think it's hard because my class is combining students from 2 other classes, so some of these kids they've never met before or they haven't seen each other all 5th grade. It's gonna be a challenge, but I love my kids, and the good parts of the day were really, really good, so I am grateful for that. I think now that I have day 1 done, I feel like I have a foundation, so I know where to go from here. I understand the kids a little bit better, although there's still some that I definitely need to learn more about. I obviously have so much to learn. This was day 1, and I feel lucky because all the conversations that I had after school with my team and with some of the other teachers in the building, they were just like, look, whatever you can do, you can do. Whatever you can't do, you can't. We are all here for you, and it just feels like a family already. I feel like part of the team. I feel very lucky. I have some frustrations, but it's okay. This is day 1, and we're gonna go up. And I feel like it's also different because it is the middle of the year. Like, they are getting a new everything in the middle of the year, and so it's not the same as starting at the beginning of the year where it's like a completely new grade level and everything in your class is different, your teacher's different, everything is different. Instead, it's just me in the middle of the year. They've already established routines and they've already established relationships. I feel like that's the difference that has made things a little bit harder. I do also have 2 students who were virtual, and so they are jumping back into school for the first time since February or March or April or whenever they stopped going to school regularly. And even in March, I think they went to school, but it was maybe for an hour every day virtually. I did want to kind of go through my day 1 slides so that you can see what we did, what I intended to do, and also some of the things we didn't get to that maybe we'll get to do later. I'm going to flip you around and we're going to do that. So this is my good morning slide. I just had this on the board whenever the kids came in, and they had the things on their desk that I mentioned earlier. Next, I talked about the morning routine, putting your things away, marking their lunch. I made a little sheet where they can write if they are doing hot lunch, cold lunch, or yogurt, and if they need breakfast for tomorrow. And I'm just gonna put that on the board, and so they can make sure that they just mark that in the morning. And then I'm also gonna have them fill out their planner every day. I have the learning target and the assignment on the board that I showed y'all in my classroom setup videos. I'm always going to have a slide like I did this morning. Then once they do all of those things, they will silent read. So next we did an activity where they got to get to know me a little bit. They had those take a guess worksheets on their desk, and then we played this game. So I had, I think, 8 questions, and so they had their little dry erase pocket. So these are the dry erase pockets that they use. On one side I had it said A, B, C, D, and then on the other side it says true, false, so that they can use that to play the game. But they went through and they answered the questions with their expo markers, and so a lot of the questions actually sparked some discussion, which I love. I loved this one because I said Miss White is married, and a lot of them were like, look at her hand, look at her hand. And I was like, but look at my name, it says Miss. So they was split with that one. I thought it was cute. And then one student thought that I was trying to throw them off by putting a dog on there. So yeah, these were just some of the questions that I had them answer. And then I also allowed them to ask me any questions that they wanted to, and then some of the questions that were on the take a guess weren't on there, so I let them ask me those questions too. That is all we did in the morning. That took up SEL and whole group reading time, which it was only supposed to take up SEL, so I ended up not reading the classroom family book until after specials. This is the book that I read. I thought it was really cute. I feel like I'm having trouble with the kids buying into my cheesiness and the things that I think would make our class super fun, but we're gonna work on it. It's day 1, it's fine. But I read this, and then we talked a little bit about these questions that I posed. What are some things that I can do to make the classroom feel like you're home away from home? And the students didn't really get into a great discussion like I wanted them to. There wasn't a lot of participation. I'm hoping that it's just because it was the first day. And then the second question was, what are some things that you can do to make everyone in the classroom feel like part of the family? And some of the kids had good answers, like being kind and our 3 main rules: safe, responsible, and respect. But the question that got the most discussion was, what are some things we should avoid doing in the classroom? And then I taught them some cheers and some attention getters. Pretty much all of them I got from YouTube. So the first one is clap, clap, whoop, whoop. This is a fun one that I got from Hello 3rd Grade. And it's really cute and easy. It's just clap, clap, whoop, whoop. And so the kids will do that whenever they cheer for each other. And then another one that I got from her whenever something awesome happens and I praise one student, something that they would do is I will go, "That's the way, I like it, and then they repeat it back, and then we all go, "Yeah." Oh my gosh, my phone is falling. And then I also have a doorbell. I just keep it in the front of the room. And then I keep this in a little hand sanitizer holder. I keep it on me. And the kids really bought into that one. That was probably the most effective. And then another one that I did was if I just raise my hand. This is something that I did in student teaching. Just raise my hand, and then the students would raise their hand, and then they would be quiet. And then the last attention getter was really fun for the kids. I also got this from Hello Third Grade. They got to beat on the desk, so they really liked that. They would tell the kids hands ready, and they would just hover above their desk, hands ready, and then you say, "Give me one," and then they go. And then you say, "Give me two," and they go. Then "Give me three" was where it got complicated. It goes. They really liked that one because they got to hit the desk and be a little loud, so that was fun. So index card towers, we ended up doing this after writing later, but this was just a really fun activity that I saw from another teacher. Here are the rules. So you put them into groups of 3, and then they chat with their team members to find out what they have in common. When they find something that all 3 of them have in common, they would write it down on an index card, and then whenever they have enough, they use those index cards to build a tower. And so I think we had one group that had 9, and that was the least, and then we had another group that had 21, so that was the most. So that was great. And it says 5 minutes, but I actually ended up giving them 8 minutes because they didn't seem super chatty, so I kind of just increased the time a little bit. Some of the routines and procedures I actually went over in the morning, but then I ended up like having them repeat some of the things back to me. So some of the routines and procedures I taught today were, of course, the morning procedure, the bathroom procedure, lining up, hand signals, voice levels, the turn-in bin and highlighters, student shout out, then the what I'd like my teacher to know. So these are the what I'd like you to know papers. I had the kids fill them out. I gave every single student one, and I explained to them what it is to be used for. I had everyone fill one out today, but then I let them know that it is available all year round. If there's something that you want to tell me, just fill one of these out, put it in the box, and we can chat about it later if you want. If you aren't comfortable talking about it and you just wanted to let me know, then I won't even mention it. So I got a lot of really good responses to this. A lot of the kids told me, because I told them to tell me something that they want me to know that's important for them. It can be about how they learn, it can be about how they are at school, it can be about something that's at home that they just want me to know about. And so I had them fill these out, and I got a lot of really good responses. There were some that were just like, I want you to know that this is my favorite football team. I want you to know that this is how I get home. I want you to know that my favorite color is yellow too. Other ones were really wonderful. I learned a little bit about their home life. I learned about what they do whenever they're upset, just like random things that they opened up to me about, and I'm really, really glad that I did that. This is probably the best thing that I did for myself in my classroom today, and I am really happy about how that turned out. Next, I talked a little bit about earning rewards. So one thing that I'm doing is a secret student. So at the beginning of the day, I'm going to choose a random secret student, and if that student is being awesome and following the rules and being on track with everything, then they are going to get a prize at the end of the day. And if they are not, then I am just going to let them know that the secret student was not great at following the rules today, so we're just going to try again tomorrow. We're also going to do a ticket system. I think I mentioned this before in another vlog, in one of my classroom setup vlogs, but the other 5th grade teachers, they do a ticket system for rewards. So I'm just going to give out tickets, and then at the end of the week I will pull 5 of them and they will get a prize, and then I'll just dump the tickets. and we'll start anew for the next week. Then whole class rewards, we actually had a little brainstorm session about the whole class rewards that they would want. And so I am going to make posters and things, but that is not a priority this week. We did not end up playing rock, paper, scissors, but hopefully we will get to that tomorrow because I do want to give this lesson about winning and losing. So for reading, this actually didn't happen during reading. I talked a little bit about it during the procedures this morning, but I created a bookbinder. If you haven't seen the bookbinder I created, you can go check it out. It is in my classroom prep video. Basically, the kids aren't supposed to be touching the books. They aren't supposed to be like digging into the books or anything like that. And so what they have to do is look through the binder. They can look at all the synopsis of all the books that I have in my shelf, and then they can choose a book, let me know which book they want, and then I will give them the book for them to check out. And then they have to fill out the checkout form, and then whenever they return the book needs to go into book quarantine. And then I also just put a big sheet of paper on the wall, and I let them come up and write out what books are on their book wish list for my library. And I told them, like, I'm not guaranteeing that I can get all of these books, but I will try my best. And I told them that I would just leave this paper up here so that they could just keep adding to it. We did not touch math today, so I'll go ahead and skip that. We did no math. For writing, we talked about problems and solutions. They weren't really great about participating, which was such a bummer. I'm hoping that it's just because they are a little shy and that it's the first day back. But for writing, we talked about problems and solutions. So these are the slides that I made for that. And then we talked about our problem, which is we use too much water. And so we just brainstormed like problems associated with that. And then they talked about solutions that we could come up with in order to solve this problem. And then they had a school behavior game that was created by the school, and it was on GimKit, and the kids loved this. They have a setting on GimKit where you can do like Among Us, and so there's imposters and things like that. So the kids really bought into this. Hopefully they actually learned the school behavior too, but the kids loved getting to get the iPads and basically play imposter. And then we aren't starting social studies until next week. So during social studies time, we did a winter writing, or we started on it. And we actually didn't get much done because they delivered lunch like half an hour late, and so that ran into a lot of our social studies time. After lunch, we got a little bit into winter writing. They basically just picked a prompt from this list, and they were told to write about it and then draw a picture. The students got a paper that was like really big, so I told them that they could write and draw a picture this way or however they wanted to. And then at the end of the day, we did a glow and grow. I told them that this is something that we're going to do every single day because they are fifth graders and they need to take responsibility for their actions and their feelings and everything. And so at the end of the day, they're going to do a glow and grow. And so I actually bought them little memo books. They were like 4 for 88 cents at Walmart, which is crazy. What they do is I will put this slide up at the end of every single day, and they can write a glow and a grow for the day, and then we will sit in a circle, and the ones that want to share their glow and grow for the day will share their glow and grow. So those are my slides for the first day. I didn't get to everything, but that's okay, and the schedule was kind of out of whack with everything that I wanted to do and get done, but it's okay. We got through it. Day 1 is done, and I'm feeling, I don't know how I'm feeling. I'm a little overwhelmed, but I'm just hoping that tomorrow is a better day. So I'm just gonna go ahead and work on my slides for tomorrow, and then I will see you all tomorrow. So it is the next day. It is Thursday now, and I just want to say I lied yesterday. Yesterday was really hard, and I didn't want to feel like a failure because I feel like I've been working for this for so long, but I went home and I cried 5 times. Well, actually, I cried once after I stopped filming in the classroom, and then I went home and cried 4 times, and it was like boo-hoo crying. Yesterday was really hard, and I just have Just a couple students who are really tough. Obviously, like, I'm a new teacher, I don't know what to do, and it disrupted my teaching for so much of the day that I felt like I was being mean all day and that all of the students hate me, and that was like my biggest fear, was that the students wouldn't like me. And the thing is that there were so many of the kids that were being kind and sweet and saying like they love their new teacher, they love their new class, but me being me, I just felt like I failed on my very first day of school. When I was driving to school today, when I woke up this morning, I was not excited to come back, and I hated that because I've been wanting this for so long. So I'm hoping that today will be a better day. We'll see. Let's go ahead and talk about what we are going to work on today. So first of all, I'm going to have these on the kids' desks so they can choose a word for the new year. And then on the second sheet, they're going to write their name, what their word is, why they chose this word, and 3 action steps to achieve that word for the new year. They're going to work on that first thing. I'm going to go ahead and pass these out so that they're waiting on their desks when they get here. So today was so much better than yesterday. It was not perfect. We definitely still had some struggles, but overall, it was so good. I feel like I made some connections with some of the kids, and it just made my heart so happy. Like, I played some games with them at the end of the day. I just kind of gave them some free time, because at the end of the day, we're supposed to have this specific time for like intervention groups, but we're not starting that for a couple weeks. So I just let them have free time today, so the day ended on such a high note. And the morning was amazing. Like, they came in, the routine was great, everyone stayed on task, and it was wonderful. We had some struggles during the middle of the day, paying attention, getting out of their seat, disrespecting me. I had a student talk back to me today. I have a student that just keeps walking around. I have a student that likes to throw trash into the trash can from like way in the back of the room. I have a student that was laying on the floor and got mad at me because I asked them to sit down in their chair, and they just shut down and didn't talk to me for like a while. So it definitely was not a perfect day, but definitely such a good start to the day and such a wonderful end to the day. Because of my anxiety, I'm just still struggling in like believing in myself as an educator. I thought that the academic portion was going to be the hard part, but I haven't even thought about the academic portion of teaching because we're not starting on most of that stuff until next week. I'm struggling a little bit, but today was a lot better than yesterday. So I'm just hoping that once we get into routine and get into the swing of things, I can start like making those connections a little better, and hopefully things will slow down a little bit with the behavior issues once they just get to know me and the routine and everything. Now I'm just going to take you through my slides really quick so you can see what we got up to today. So this was my morning slide. I already showed you like how they had a word goal sheet. After they worked on their word goals for a little bit, and after the announcements and all of that good stuff, we went over some of the class rules. So these are the main class rules: be respectful, be responsible, and be safe. And so I just had the students raise their hand and give examples of how they could do all those things, and I just wrote all of those things on the board. Afterward, we did a read aloud for the day you begin, and I put these questions on here. I actually got these questions from elementary in the mitten, and it just says all of this, and so I just wanted the kids to think about these questions while she was reading the book. And so I had them listen to the book, which was wonderful, and then we discussed those same questions afterward. Didn't really get a ton of discussion. I don't know, I'm not sure if these kids just aren't comfortable speaking yet, or if they're still tired or what, but I don't know. Hopefully we get some more class participation. And then I put this up on the board so that we could read it together. And again, I got this from elementary in the mitten. And then they went to their specials. And then when they came back, we worked on math. I actually didn't have them get all of these things out. I just had them use a sheet of paper and a pencil, and we did this dunk tank review game. And it's just this review game that helps them learn about decimals, fractions, and percents, because they do have a test on that next week. After that, we went to recess and we came back and we did writing. So we've been working on writing about problems and solutions. So together today we made an outline. I basically had them outline 3 paragraphs, and I gave them 3 problems and 1 solution to those problems. And then I asked them to give 2 more solutions for each problem. This morning we did a getting to know you Jenga. I got this free from Jennifer Finley, and I just used these little mini Jengas that I got from the Dollar Tree. I got 5 of them. I have 15 students, so I just put them in groups of 3, and they seem to really enjoy this game. And then they are still working on the winter writing that they started yesterday. I did start this read aloud with them, and they seemed to like it. I barely got into it, but another teacher walked in and she said that whenever she walked in, they were super engaged and they were just basically staring up at me and not fidgeting or doing anything. So started this. I'm really excited to get into it. I've heard such good things about it, and hopefully I can find some more time to read more of it tomorrow. I also had my first student shout out. I'm just going to show you from way back here so you don't see the names or anything, but I had one student shout out another student for helping them pick something up, and at the end they wrote, "I'm happy to have them as a friend," and I just thought that was so sweet. Hopefully we can start getting some more of those. I did start my secret student today, and unfortunately they didn't get it. It was a student that is struggling with paying attention and following directions, so unfortunately, the secret student did not get anything today, but hopefully we can, try again tomorrow. So right now I'm just planning for tomorrow. I do need to write some stuff out from the ideas that the students came up with for being respectful, responsible, and safe. And then I need to clean off the twister board because the students played with that today. And then I'm gonna go home. I'm not done making my slides for tomorrow, but it's almost 5 and I don't want to be here much longer. Happy Friday! Woo, woo, woo. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I made it. I mean, I haven't made it yet because we still got a whole day to do, but I just can't believe how long this week felt, and it's only my 3rd day of teaching. Makes me nervous for the rest of the semester. I'm just excited that it's Friday. I've got my spirit wear on. I did it! I'm so excited. Kids just left. Just had a short meeting with my team, and we actually get to leave at 3:30, and I plan on leaving at 3:30. It is 3:25. Filming a second ago, somebody walked in and it was really embarrassing, so I decided not to do that, but I am so excited. I didn't leave at 3:30, it's 3:47, so I'm just now leaving, but I figured while I'm driving home I'd just chat with you. Today was it was wonderful, but I also think that because it's Friday, I was just a little bit more lenient on things that I wasn't lenient on Wednesday and Thursday. And I'm also just kind of learning about these kids and trying to figure out what they respond to and what just makes them shut down and things like that. It was just such a good day, and I'm so grateful for it. This morning they were a little bit chattier than usual. The afternoon they kind of get a little rowdier, but today it was kind of the opposite. They were a little rowdy in the morning, and then I kept on being like, y'all, you need to come on. And they were a lot quieter during the day, and I actually put on some, like, just some instrumental music in the background during writing today, and they were so good and quiet, and it was just such a wonderful ambiance. And so I think that's something that I'm going to continue doing. Definitely not during silent reading, because I want them to concentrate more on their reading, because I did put on instrumental music that was like pop songs, so it was songs that they recognized. So at first they were kind of like trying to sing along and be like, what song is this, what song is this? But then after like a couple minutes they were fine, and they were just quiet during writing. And so I think it's something that I'm going to keep on doing. So this week for writing we've been working on problems and solutions, and so today I think I had like 3 students that weren't working at all. And I looked at the class and I just said, listen, if you don't do the work that I want you to do, then you don't get to do what you want to do. So if you don't work on writing during writing, that means you'll be working on writing during recess. You don't get to have privileges if you don't do the things that I ask of you. And so after that, students really like got on it. So I appreciated that, because even though they were being quiet, there were some students that were just sitting there doing nothing. I think I am going to try a new strategy next week with the noise control. I have seen teachers that just write noise on the board, and then whenever the students are being too loud and rowdy, they take away a letter, and then when it says no, that means there's absolutely no talking allowed, because that's 3 strikes. So I think I'm going to try that next week. I did have one filler activity today that was so much fun, and the kids really got into it. The activity was just a little guess who game. I found it on Pinterest. Students just write 3 clues about themselves. They don't write their name on their papers, and then I collect the papers and I read each one out loud, and the students have a discussion and they have to guess who they think the person is. And it was a lot of fun, because I basically said they're really into Among Us, which I've never played and I still don't understand how it works. One student asked, well, what does a person do if it's their sheet, if it's their clues? And I said then they just have to act like an imposter, and they have to act like they have to frame somebody else. And so they got super into it. They did get a little more rowdy than I would have liked. I did have to settle them down a few times, but I just loved that they were having so much fun with it, and it was a good Friday activity. So I'm really glad that they got super into it. And there was actually one student who their clue was, I don't like Among Us. And I was like, hot take. A lot of the students got really defensive. They're like, oh, that's definitely not mine. I love Among Us. It was a lot of fun, and I'm so glad that we ended the week with that. My favorite part of the day, though, was actually during the last portion of the day. We come back from recess, and then we have about 25 minutes where it's supposed to be intervention groups, but we aren't doing that this week. The past couple days, I've just been doing free time, but today I wanted to give out awards and prizes and things. And so at the end of the day today, we did our glow and grow, and most of the students wanted to share, which I loved. I was going to do where I just draw like 3 sticks. Sorry if this is super shaky. Where I just draw 3 sticks, and then those 3 students get to share. But I was just so excited that so many students wanted to share today that I just let as many students share as they wanted to. And I have the little microphone, and I do have 3 students that do struggle behavior wise, and one of them wasn't here today, but the 2 that were here today, their grows were like paying attention and following directions more. And I just love that they are self-aware enough to know that that's something that they need to work on. And it makes me realize that they're acting up, but that they want to do better. So I definitely think that is going to help me a lot in the future with trying to figure out what does and doesn't work for them. But after we did Glow and Grow, I have my little student shout out board, and tons of students shouted out today. So I have one student in particular that just kept on writing random shout outs that were super generic, and it did bug me a little bit because I felt like she was wasting paper, and I felt like a lot of the comments were very generic and disingenuous, and that's not what I want it to be for. I want it to be very specific, and I want it to be something that they can be like, oh, at this time this is what they did. But I also don't want to discourage people from using the student shout out sheet, so I'm not going to say anything about it right now. I do need to print out a lot more. I love that they are wanting to shout each other out and wanting to share positive comments. I think that's really awesome, and I definitely want to encourage that a lot more, because a lot of the shout outs were for people that the student that gave it to them, they don't necessarily like hang out with all the time. They don't like play with at recess, or they don't like choose to share their free time with them. So I thought it was really cool that those students decided to do that. It just made my heart so happy. And then after that, I had the students do a drum roll, which the students really like being loud, so I love that. I had the students do a drum roll, and I told them who the secret student was, and that person got to go get a prize. And then I also did the ticket raffle, so at the end of the day, the students whose numbers I called on the tickets, they got to go into the prize box. And one of the students was like, oh my gosh, there's so much good stuff in there, which I loved. I'm really glad that they thought that, because I just got random things from like Walmart and Five Below and Dollar Tree, just random things like pens and like art kits and notebooks, and I did put some candy in there as well, and I did buy a bag of chips as well for prizes. I am hoping that all of our Fridays are like that. Next week we are doing a lot more academics, and so that's definitely going to show me how the classroom operates normally day to day. I am going to end the vlog here. That is a wrap on my first week as a teacher. Oh my gosh, it still feels so unreal. I am so happy. I'm so excited. I know that it is definitely going to be a tough semester. The start of the week obviously was not great. I cried 5 times and like boo-hoo, gross, disgusting tears. But I am starting to feel a little bit better about creating relationships with my students, and also with my ability as a teacher as well. I know that we haven't gotten into academics yet, and I was actually more nervous about academics than I was about creating relationships with students, but now I'm more nervous about classroom management and all of those things, and academics I know is just gonna, it's not as important as those relationships and just being able to have a classroom that just runs smoothly. So I have a lot to work on. Obviously it's only day 3, but I got through my first week and here we are. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for hanging out with me during my first week of school, and I will see you in the next one.